The headlines were chilling to FBI shuts down largest ever child pornography website. This was not just another news story, it was a stark reminder of the dark underbelly of the internet, a place where the most heinous crimes are committed in the shadows. Hundreds arrested in global child exploitation ring. The scale of the operation was unprecedented, spanning multiple countries and involving numerous law enforcement agencies working in unison to dismantle this horrific network. The images accompanying the news stories were even more disturbing, a stark visual representation of the horrors that were taking place behind closed doors and encrypted screens, blurred faces of children, some just toddlers trapped in unimaginable situations. These were not just images, they were cries for help, silent screams that had finally been heard. These were the faces of the victims of Playpen, a name that would become synonymous with the darkest corners of the internet. Playpen was not just a website, it was a sophisticated network designed to exploit the most vulnerable. This wasn't just another case of online child exploitation. It was a meticulously organized operation that thrived in the anonymity of the dark web, making it incredibly difficult to trace and dismantle. The sheer scale of Playpen, its sophisticated operation hidden deep within the dark web, was staggering. It was a labyrinthine network that required advanced technology and international cooperation to penetrate. And the FBI's controversial methods to bring it down made it a watershed moment in the fight against online child abuse. The operation, known as Operation Pacifier, involved the FBI taking control of Playpen and running it for several weeks to identify and arrest its users. The story of Playpen is not just about catching criminals. It's about the complex ethical and legal questions raised when law enforcement enters the shadows of the internet. The operation sparked a debate about privacy, surveillance, and the lengths to which authorities should go to protect the innocent. It's about the complex ethical and legal questions raised when law enforcement enters the shadows of the internet and the ongoing struggle to protect children in the digital age. The case highlighted the need for stronger international laws and cooperation to combat such crimes effectively, and the ongoing struggle to protect children in the digital age. As technology evolves, so do the methods of those who seek to exploit it for nefarious purposes. The fight against online child exploitation is far from over, but the takedown of Playpen was a significant step forward in this relentless battle. Playpen wasn't a place you stumbled upon accidentally. It was a meticulously hidden corner of the internet designed to be invisible to the casual browser. Hidden within the dark web, a shadowy part of the internet that remains deliberately concealed from standard search engines and browsers, Playpen was a fortress of secrecy. This part of the internet is not accessible through conventional means. It requires a specific set of tools and knowledge to navigate. Standard search engines and browsers would yield no results, leaving the dark web shrouded in mystery. To access Playpen, one needed specialized software like the Tor browser, which anonymizes the user's identity and location. This anonymity was crucial as it allowed users to operate without fear of being traced. Playpen was a haven for pedophiles, a place where they could share illegal images and videos, swap stories, and revel in their depravity with seeming impunity. The content shared was not just illegal, but deeply disturbing, often involving the most vulnerable members of society, children. At its peak, Playpen boasted nearly 215,000 members. This staggering number of users contributed to a vast repository of millions of images and videos depicting the sexual abuse of children, some just infants. The sheer volume of content was overwhelming and horrifying. The site's administrators, driven by a toxic combination of power and perversion, enforced strict rules to maintain secrecy and encourage the sharing of new, even more horrific content. They created an environment where the most depraved acts were not only allowed, but encouraged. Playpen represented a terrifying evolution in online child exploitation, a hidden community thriving in the darkest recesses of the internet. It was a stark reminder of the dangers lurking in the shadows of the digital world, where anonymity can be a shield for the most heinous crimes. In late 2014, the FBI made a startling discovery. They had infiltrated Playpen, not as passive observers, but as temporary masters of the domain. The agency had seized control of the site's server, located not in some far-off country, but on American soil. This presented the FBI with a unique dilemma. They could shut the site down immediately, but that would only scatter its users, making future prosecutions difficult. Instead, the FBI chose a far more controversial path. They would continue running Playpen for 2 weeks, using the site as a digital dragnet to identify its users and ultimately bring them to justice. The operation, dubbed Operation Pacifier, was unprecedented in its scope and ambition. It was a coordinated effort involving multiple law enforcement agencies from around the world, all working together to dismantle one of the most notorious child exploitation networks on the dark web. For 2 weeks, the FBI, using a network investigative technique, NIT, essentially a piece of malware, collected IP addresses and other identifying information from every visitor to Playpen. This sophisticated tool allowed agents to infiltrate the dark web, a place where anonymity is usually guaranteed, and gather crucial data without alerting the site's users. This information provided the leads for a global crackdown on Playpen's users. The data collected was meticulously analyzed, leading to the identification of thousands of individuals involved in the exploitation and abuse of children. The operation's reach extended far beyond the United States, touching nearly every corner of the globe. Hundreds of arrests were made in countries across the world, from the United States and Canada to Europe and Australia. Each arrest represented a significant victory in the fight against child exploitation, as law enforcement agencies worked tirelessly to bring these perpetrators to justice. Most importantly, the operation led to the rescue of dozens of children, some of whom were being actively abused by Playpen members. These rescues were the true measure of the operation's success, as each child saved represented a life changed forever. The emotional impact on the rescuers was profound, as they witnessed firsthand the horrors these children had endured. The success of Operation Pacifier was undeniable, but it came at a cost. The use of NIT raised significant legal and ethical questions, sparking debates about privacy and the extent to which law enforcement should go to combat such heinous crimes. Despite these controversies, the operation stands as a landmark achievement in the ongoing battle against child exploitation, demonstrating the power of global cooperation and advanced technology in bringing criminals to justice. Section 5. The controversy of malware deployment. The FBI's use of malware to identify Playpen's users sparked immediate controversy. Critics, including privacy advocates and defense attorneys, argued that the agency had overstepped its bounds, essentially hacking into the computers of individuals who had not yet been charged with a crime. They argued that the use of such invasive techniques, even in the pursuit of horrific crimes, set a dangerous precedent, potentially jeopardizing the privacy rights of all internet users. The debate over the FBI's tactics in the Playpen case raised fundamental questions about the balance between security and liberty in the digital age. Section 6. Legal battles and ethical dilemmas. The legal challenges to Operation Pacifier were swift and fierce. Defense attorneys argued that the evidence obtained through the FBI's malware was inadmissible, a violation of their clients' Fourth Amendment rights against unreasonable searches and seizures. The courts, however, were divided. Some judges sided with the government, arguing that the FBI's actions were justified given the gravity of the crimes being investigated. Others expressed concerns about the potential for government overreach, questioning whether the ends justified the means. The Playpen case became a legal battleground, testing the limits of law enforcement powers in the digital age. Section 7. Playpen's legacy, a turning point. The Playpen case, for all its complexities and controversies, marked a turning point in the fight against online child exploitation. It demonstrated the power of international cooperation in tackling crimes that transcend borders and the willingness of law enforcement agencies to use increasingly sophisticated techniques to combat online predators. However, the case also served as a stark reminder of the dark side of the digital revolution, the ease with which predators can connect and share their depravity, and the ongoing challenges of balancing security with privacy in the digital age. Section 8. The ongoing fight against online abuse. The shuttering of Playpen was a significant victory, but it was just one battle in a much larger war. The fight against online child exploitation continues as predators adapt to new technologies and find new ways to operate in the shadows of the internet. Law enforcement agencies around the world are constantly working to identify and dismantle these networks, but they face an uphill battle. The anonymous nature of the dark web, coupled with the ever-increasing volume of online content, makes it difficult to track down perpetrators and prevent abuse. Section 9. Protecting our children in the digital age. The Playpen case serves as a chilling reminder that the internet, for all its wonders, can be a dangerous place for children. It underscores the need for parents, educators, and society as a whole to be vigilant in protecting children from online predators. This includes educating children about online safety, monitoring their online activity, and reporting any suspicious behavior to the appropriate authorities. The fight against online child exploitation is a shared responsibility, one that requires constant vigilance and a commitment to creating a safer digital world for our children.